How many of the things that are on your last year's New Year's resolution list are maybe still on the list? We're coming up to the new year, and maybe you have some of those things that you just never got around to. Today we're going to talk about why that happens, why your list doesn't change, and why sometimes we actually fail ahead of time because it's easier. Hi, I'm Megan, nurse practitioner and nurse coach, and this video is for nurses who are frustrated with their ability to follow through, to get results, or frankly just with their level of health or wellness. I give you tools to start giving yourself some of the awesome care and dedication that you give to your patients. So today we're going to talk about this sneaky concept of failing ahead of time in order to save yourself some trouble. Take a minute and pick one thing that was on your to-do list, or maybe has been on your to-do list for years, something that you really want. Maybe it's to run a marathon, maybe it's to eat whole foods, maybe it's to get gas before your gas light's been on for 20 miles, maybe it's to eat healthy or lose weight or drink less alcohol or start a business. Maybe it's to get your inbox to zero or to pack a lunch every day for work. I'm sure you can come up with something that you keep meaning to do. So maybe you find yourself asking, why do these things keep staying on the list? How come I can't get this stuff done? Or maybe you don't even find yourself saying that. Maybe you just find yourself saying, it's not the right time. I'm really busy. I can't because of my kids. I can't because of my parents. Or I'm just too tired. What we don't realize is that when we say these things, we're choosing to fail ahead of time. Let me spell it out for you. You have done all of this stuff before, right? You've tried. You've set your goal out there like a crock pot. Set it and forget it. Dump in all the ingredients and hope for the best. But the problem is then we don't always get something delicious at the end. So it's really kind of backwards. When we first come up with a goal, we set the goal because we think it's going to make us feel good. It's going to be something that we want. But after we try and fail a couple times, we stop putting the goal out there. We think, I don't want to make the plan right now because I'll feel bad if it doesn't work out. So in an effort to not feel bad when it doesn't work out, we opt to not even put it out there, to not even try, to not even put it on the list anymore. But what happens when you play this out is we don't then achieve what we wanted to achieve, which ultimately results in us feeling bad. So that initial effort that we took to protect ourselves from feeling bad ends up with us feeling bad anyway. The good news is once we realize this, we can do something about it. Staying the same is just discomfort masquerading as safety and security. The answer for this is really simple. Decide what you want, step one. Number two, make a plan of how you're going to get it. But this is the crucial part. Make a time that you are going to reevaluate your plan. You don't want to just set it in the crock pot and forget it. You want to know when you're going to open that top, check for spices, stir it around, and see what's going on. The really great thing is it doesn't really matter what the plan is. You just got to come up with one. It doesn't have to be the right plan, doesn't have to be the perfect plan. Just come up with a plan and when you're going to reevaluate. Okay, so what happens when all of a sudden you don't want to do it? Comes time to do what you said you were going to do and you don't want to do it. This is when you need to remind yourself that the discomfort of staying the same is worse than the discomfort of trying. That's the key. Okay, so here's the best part. I might have already said there was a best part, but this is another best part. Now you get to the point where you evaluate your plan. So maybe it's a weekend, maybe it's 2 days in, maybe it's tomorrow, but you stop and you look at what you've done so far. This is just data collection. This is not a time to beat yourself silly for not having done what you said you were going to do or for not getting the outcome that you thought you were going to get. This is when you get to look at your plan and say, okay, I have all this data. Now what am I going to do with it? Am I going to continue doing the same thing or am I going to make a little tweak and reevaluate again? This is when we need to realize it's not a one and done process. This is where it takes practice. And that's what we have to remind ourselves, that anything good that we have in our life came from repetitive attempts at getting better. We can see this in lots of different ways. Maybe it was learning how to cook when you were out on your own. Maybe it was learning how to start an IV. I don't know about you, but I think perhaps I had to practice that a few times, much to the chagrin of the people I was practicing on. But my point is if we had given up nursing when we couldn't start an IV, That would have been ridiculous. That would have been a huge waste of all the things that led up to that point. So here's the good news. Instead of saying, I never follow through, tell yourself you're practicing being the person who follows through. Instead of failing ahead of time, at least decide, I'm going to put myself out there. We've already determined that either way, you could end up feeling bad, right? You feel bad that you didn't try, or you try, something doesn't work out, and you could potentially feel bad. Only one of those options has the potential to let you feel better at the end. So if you're going to be uncomfortable either way, you might as well get what you want. I hope this helps you. If you want to throw me a comment in the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. As always, be brilliant, be kind. I'll see you in the next video.